Welcome back, fellow fans of Clash Royale, or if it is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by and watching Level 1 domination by Ebutoy Nodalag. That's right, it's my troll Level 1 account. I'm playing it on my phone, so that might be why you see the screen looks a little bit smaller than normal. The aspect ratio on my iPhone 7 Plus, not ideal. But what is ideal? The fact that in the last episode of Ebutoy Nodalag's life, I unlocked the graveyard with a special super magical chest that only cost me $4.99. That's right, $4.99. So yes, Supercell suckered me into spending gems on this account. That was the only time I had ever spent any gems. But honestly, it was too much to resist. A super magical chest for $4.99. It unlocked the graveyard, and here we are trying it out for the very first time against much, much higher level players. And like I've said in previous episodes, players that may not exactly have a grasp on all the fundamentals of Clash Royale, and we're going to take advantage of that right here as we drop the graveyard in. The tanking giant works out for a while, but check out that graveyard. Just is going to incinerate that tower, and nothing that player could do right there. And I just figure maybe players aren't used to this at this point. So in the previous episode, we talked about the fact that, yes, players don't know how to use tanks protected by smaller DPS units. They don't know how to counter splash damage. They don't know the fact that the witch is splash damage, so they deploy the wrong units against her. And I also would have to say that they don't know how to counter legendary cards. That just seems kind of obvious, because at this level, there's probably not a lot of players who are playing with legendary cards. So it was a huge advantage to unlock any legendary, but especially the graveyard, I feel like. The Inferno Dragon might have been a good one too. Even the Lava Hound, it would be a difficult card for players to stop. I have noticed, though, that I'm facing a lot of balloons. Lots of players with balloons these days, and it is a strong card, especially strong against my poor little baby level 1. There's not a lot I can do. Here, he does take out my tower to tie things up, but I'm not done yet. I'm pushing. I've got another graveyard after his King's Tower. Check out that mass of skeletons. I've got the Witch, I've got the Skarmy, I've got the graveyard skeletons, and this guy really doesn't stand a chance. Almost getting the tower down in just one push right there. Just a matter of trying to last long enough on defense to take him down. He throws the P.E.K.K.A. down here. And again, it's just fundamental miscalculations and misplays. I realize, and I admitted this in the previous episode, it's not masterful skill from Galadon. I am not some sort of wizard with Clash Royale. It's just when other players miss the fundamentals of the game, it kind of gives you a big advantage. So I'm able to take down his big cards like his giant skeleton with my little skeletons. In comes another graveyard while the giant is tanking. Now I realize right there, even though I picked up the 3-crown win, the correct placement of the tank card when you got a tower down and you're using graveyard is in the center, in the gap. You want to drop that tank card there so that both towers are firing on the tank and that right tower isn't firing on the graveyard. Now, yes, you did just see that. You did just see a player start with a zap and a rocket on my right tower. So this guy obviously went to Nick at Night school when he learned how to play Clash Royale. Now, I say that because if you guys watched the Clash Royale YouTuber tournament, now this took place like almost a year and a half ago now, over a year and 4 months ago. Nick at Night was really good at taking people down with just direct damage to their towers. Rockets, fireballs, zap, lightning, whatever, you name it, he was doing it. The game since adjusted so that doesn't really work out anymore, but it was kind of a Nick at Night thing back then. And it worked. And, you know, like anything else, I always say, if it's in the game, it's fair to play. And so this guy, I don't know. I'm guessing this guy, there he goes again with the zap spell on my right tower. I'm thinking either he's gotten this high actually doing that, or he saw that he was facing a level 1 and got extremely overconfident. Okay. Maybe this isn't overconfidence. Maybe this is just lack of knowledge. The freeze spell there, probably one of the worst freeze spells I've ever seen. Again, I'm wishing these guys would come to my channel. Come to any channel. You don't have to watch me, watch anybody. And you will pick up some skills in Clash Royale. But you guys have to remember, the vast majority, the huge majority of Clash Royale players never ever watch a Clash Royale YouTube video. It's just not going to happen. For the most part, these players are not bothering, and then this happens. Now this actually works out. The guy's wizard gets like 3 shots on my tower. I mean, I dropped the knight too late. Now that knight should have gone down like a half a second sooner, and then it would have tanked and it would have grabbed the wizard's attention. Instead, working on the graveyard on the left-hand side, again, that disadvantage of having the tower down, so the king's tower fires on the graveyard. You can see I did not get a lot of damage done. Now my opponent switching off to the rocket on my left tower, so I don't know if he's trying to take out both towers with direct damage. He's only got about 40 seconds to do it. Now I realize that, okay, now he is going to probably get that left tower down. He keeps hitting it with zap and rocket, and that's probably going to give him enough to get it down. Not a lot of hit points left on that tower. 30 seconds left. Another graveyard goes down, and the wizard turning around, helping to counter it. The Valkyrie trying to get in there. Here comes the rocket. Check out where the rocket lands, though, you guys. Ah, facepalm. That's a major facepalm. Okay. On the left-hand side, the wizard doesn't get the job done, and I have no words. I have no words for what just took place, you guys. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to win this match right here. I mean, he probably could have killed my king's tower if he had thrown all those rockets and zaps just on the king's tower throughout the match. Instead, I pick up probably one of the most embarrassing wins I've ever had. But it's fun. I'm using the graveyard and having a really good time. So now the thing about the graveyard, and this is a fundamental that's true at any level, no matter whether you're playing much higher level players or you're in challenge play or you're playing for trophies, and that is once you've taken one tower down, the effectiveness of the graveyard really drops because you're going to have 2 towers firing on the graveyard instead of 1, unless you can accompany that graveyard with that center deployed tank, the giant, the knight, anybody that can soak up the damage, that can attract the fire from both towers at the same time, which is more of a possibility as a higher level player than as a level 1. I mean, my tanks don't last very long. You got to see that right here. I mean, they're pretty soft. I mean, the giant, he seems good, but he's a little baby big giant. He's a big baby. That's what he is. He's a big baby, and you can see here he gets the smackdown from pretty much anybody that goes after him. So he doesn't work out real well for tanking, but occasionally there's times that we can get him to the tower. Right here, probably not the best idea. You can see that he's got a big counter push coming at me, and I'm about to lose a tower. But look at the uncountered graveyard in the top left. No counter up there, and the tower goes down. So that is a lesson learned maybe for that player there and for me. I mean, you don't even technically need a tank if your opponent chooses not to counter. And now I've tied it up, but I'm stuck in that disadvantage of trying to get a second tower down with a graveyard card. But like I've said before, I'm not exactly playing pro players here, so the chances are these guys are going to make some mistakes, and hopefully I'll be able to capitalize. Again, I am counting on the simplicity of the game right now. That's probably why I'm better at Clash Royale at this level than I am at level 13. I mean, I struggle to get to 5,500 trophies on my level 13 account, but in this one, I can crush players that are so much higher level than me. Yeah, maybe 50, 60% of the time. I'm still losing a lot of matches, of course. You know, anytime I meet a player who knows what he's doing, I'm going to lose. And pretty much I'm not even going to stick around. I realize after about 30 seconds or 60 seconds into a match whether I have a chance or not. And if I have no chance, hey, it's on my phone. I can close the app and go on to something else really quickly. Here, I've got to tank down the graveyard, trying to get in there. Gets countered pretty well this time. And my right tower just barely saved by the skeleton army there. Really close call. In comes his knight, his minions. In comes his rocket. Oops. But that's a lower level rocket, and it wasn't enough to take out the tower. 17 hit points. Where's Peter? Where's Peter? 17 hit points left on that tower. Time is counting down. Doesn't look good. In comes the goblin barrel. Got to stop that. Skarmy gets in there just perfectly. Big counter push building at the river right now. In goes the graveyard. Minions are going to get taken down by the witch. And once again, it's skeleton madness. It's skeleton mayhem. And in overtime, we grab the 2-1 win. The graveyard clutching it there as the witch, my favorite card at level 1, does it for me one more time. And that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys again for watching. I genuinely appreciate your time, and I really hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Be positive, be optimistic. Remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. See you tomorrow. Full attack.
Galadon, did I hear my favourite number? 17.